The Halal Travel Podcast.
Assalamualaikum. Welcome guys to another episode of the Halal Travel Podcast. You're listening to me, Hazra, Rauda and Nurul. We hope you're well and staying safe during this pandemic. Today on this podcast, we have a very special person who brings a lot of memories to pre-COVID days, especially for me. Because our trip to Jeju was one of the very last few trips before we went into a total lockdown. So we have someone from KTO, Korean Tourism Organization today, which is Nabila. Hello Nabila.
Hello. Hi. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. My God, I butchered it. 안녕하세요.
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 Oh, that's a good pronunciation.
안녕하세요.
Okay.
감사합니다.
Wow. Okay. Good. Okay. So basically today we're going to talk about Korea. Okay.
Right.
Just to put it out there, okay?
Yeah.
But anyways, so if you think that Halal Trip is an expert on what's halal in Korea, you are completely wrong because we only know a little bit. But then when it comes to Nabila, she's on a whole new level. Because she is the real expert on Korea. Because she works in Korean Tourism Organization and she basically knows the whole of Jeju and the whole of South Korea at the back of her.
And studied in Korea, like Korea
Yes.
too, right? Okay.
Yes, okay. First of all, let's share a bit more of yourself.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Nabila, and I am the marketing manager, the Jeju marketing manager here in Korea Tourism Organization, Malaysia. So I'm in charge of Malaysia market and Brunei market as well. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me. And before this, I did an exchange program while I was doing my bachelor's degree in South Korea. So it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It was in 2015. So I studied there for one semester. And I studied Korean language, only Korean language. So yeah. And I'm still learning Korean language until now. I'm not I haven't reached that native level yet, but on conversational basis, yeah, I can get by.
No, she's lying. She actually can speak very fluently.
I'm pretty sure if you work in a Korean organization, she can speak like the native.
Yeah. And I think the other day, macam semalam gitu. The other time, she was sharing with a group of us how working in a Korean tourism organization, you have to prepare reports in Korean.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's a whole lot more than just speaking.
So you would have to write out the report in Korean on your own as well, instead of having it outsourced to a translation service.
No. Okay. Actually, for your information, even though I work in KTO, so basically, I'm actually hired by Jeju government. So Jeju has its own government. So I'm directly, they hired me directly. So because it's government, right? So you need all of the documents should be in Korean. So that's why, I have to do all the paperwork, everything in Korean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's hard to learn Korean?
I mean, okay, basically, first of all, there's 6 levels of Korean. 6 levels. Usually, if you want to take the standard exam, call it topic. It's something like IELTS, right? So there's 6 levels. So there's topic 1 and topic 2. So topic 1 is level 1 until 3. So it's beginner level. And then topic 2 is level 4, 5, 6. So from topic 1, 2, 3, it's enough to get you if you study only topic 1, maybe you can understand Korean. You can go to the restaurant and order, and then you can get around, buying things, and talk to your friends a little bit. But if you want to, learn more, understanding the newspaper, reports, watch news, and all these even more difficult things. So you need to take topic 2. So topic 2, the transition between topic 1 and topic 2 is huge. For me personally, I thought topic 1 was really easy. Actually, it's really easy, when you learn the basic Korean. But once when you reach topic 2, level 4, 5, and 6, it's wow, you need to study a lot. So it's quite difficult. once when you reach the higher grade. But overall, I think as long as you keep practicing, and I'm pretty sure we watch a lot of Korean dramas, things like that, right? So it's all repetitive, so it's not too difficult if you put a little bit more effort on that.
And I sometimes in my resume, maybe I would like to put like Korean a bit.
Which level are you on?
Level 2 maybe.
Okay.
I mean, like what you said, like I think best way to learn Korean is through their dramas, because
that's
is
true.
it true that they don't have grammars?
No, actually, you know what? Korean has the most grammars, I think, in any of the languages that I've learned before. Korean has so many grammar rules. I think it's more than 100, I guess. Yeah. So for each level, you learn all these new grammars and new grammars and new grammars.
Oh
And
my gosh.
sometimes I don't even remember some of the grammars that I learned, because it's only, sometimes, it's kind of weird, because like when you learn English, you learn all these sets of grammar and you use it every day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, on daily basis. But for them, there are some like grammars that they only use for news reporting. They only use certain group of grammars only on certain occasions and things like that. But you still have to know it, So for daily practice, not really.
Tak diperlukan basically. But I think K-drama really helps in understanding like their language. Like you can auditorially you can hear like certain words and like actually like remember it.
Okay, Hazira, tell me what your name is in Korean.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요 means hi. 저는 Hazira.
저는
Right, correct, right.
You can
oh yes,
What is it?
basically you can say like
Hazira입니다.
you can say like 제 이름은, like my name, 하지라입니다, something like that.
Oh, it's different. You said like
What is 저는?
저는 is me too. So it's the same.
Well, I shall strike that out of my resume.
저는 means I am too.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's close lah. Got the Indida behind.
No, it's correct. It's correct too. If like you tell that to people can understand. So,
Okay, you're trying. Fine. But I also hear that like the language itself resembles or has like roots in Chinese language. Is that right?
Okay, so basically I think it's quite the same. I'm not sure about Japanese, but I think maybe same with Japanese too. So they have they loan a lot of words from Chinese. So we call it Hanja. Hanja means like the Chinese characters, things like that. So there's they use the root word. They take the words from Chinese and it's in Korean. So that's why it's kind of easy for Chinese to learn
Chinese
Korean
speaking,
because they have a lot of similar words. Yeah, because a lot of the words derive from Chinese language.
Cool.
Now must learn Chinese pula.
You should. Then you can watch all the Channel 8 dramas. Chinese dramas. That's how I learn it.
Anyway, so like flashback like maybe 10 years ago, would you have ever imagined like working in a Korean tourism organization? Like did you learn Korean because you like K-pop or like K-drama?
Oh, well, first of all, actually it's very interesting how I learned.
Okay.
So basically, if you were to say 10 years ago, no, I wouldn't imagine not at all. I didn't have any interest in Korea at all, like to be honest, until I think I was in my second or third year. I think first or second year in uni. So I started listening to K-pop a little bit here and there. I watched a lot of dramas, but then not enough to actually apply to go there. So I don't know what happened to me one day. So there's only 5 slots. They open up a scholarship to go to Korea for the exchange program. So because in my university, we had to take like either Arabic or Japanese or Korean. I mean, another one would be Korean. So I don't want to learn Japanese. I didn't want to learn Japanese because I think I heard the sensei gave a lot of homework. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna learn Japanese. And I knew like I learned Arabic before and it was really hard for me. So I said like, okay, never mind. I had no other choice. Let's just learn Korean. So when the professor said like, okay, who wants to go to Korea? So I just like naturally, okay, I'll just go because one of the reasons, I had like interest as well, but at the same time, because I had no other choice, what to do. So yeah. And it's quite interesting because, okay, this is quite a secret, but never mind. So basically, like last time I heard like from some of my other friends who actually went there, they went through, I don't know, it's all about mindset and how you see things. So like from their experience, they didn't have quite a good experience when they went there, They said like, I think one or two of them experienced racism, things like that, which is a normal, it's happening everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So after listening to that, I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to Korea. I'm so scared. Yeah, to be honest, I was actually really scared and I was gonna cancel my application because I thought like, what if I go there and, because I'm a girl, right?
Yeah.
And then like, I was really young and I was thinking like, oh, what if I face, all this kind of racism, I get ostracized and I'm alone there, yeah, in a foreign country. So, but then because it was too late and I couldn't cancel it, so I had no choice, but never mind, I just went through. And at first I had like quite a prejudice, to be honest, like, because I was so scared listening to some people's stories about, getting discriminated and like people just like, like bump into you. They didn't even say sorry, things like that. So I was being too careful and I was kind of scared actually. But after going there, I think it's like, maybe it's a sign from Allah, I guess, like trying to tell me like, don't judge people too quickly, So what happened, like as soon as I reached Korea, like I think right on the first day, if I'm not mistaken. So I went out with my friends, a couple of my friends, and suddenly it was during winter time and suddenly it started raining a lot, So we were just like standing cold outside and like we had to go back to our hostel. But then because it was raining, so we just had to wait outside and it was already like at night. And one person, I don't know, like some random guy, he saw us like standing outside, like we were cold and things like that. He just gave me an umbrella,
Oh, so sweet.
And so yeah, it was so sweet. So I was like, hey, Korean people are not bad at all.
That's good. That's good.
It's like in the K-drama, that kind,
Yeah, it was something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you run under the like rain together.
Yeah. So like somebody actually, like a guy, I think, he saw me. So he actually gave me his umbrella and then he just ran. So I was like, oh, basically, Korean people are not that Yeah, I was quite shocked. I was and at that time, I didn't know any single word of Korean when I went there, except for maybe just 안녕하세요 and 감사합니다. So I was like, I was too shocked, so I couldn't even say 감사합니다 that time. So but I think that incident actually changed about how I look at things. And basically that changed me, like how I think about Korea until now, I guess.
Yeah.
I think
it's all about misconceptions actually.
Yeah. I feel like, I think it is, I don't know, after speaking to Kim and Fadi on our first episode, because they're an interracial Malaysian Korean couple, that I think the younger generation probably in Korea are a bit more aware of, why we look like this and where we come from and things like that.
True.
So I like to think that they're a bit more receptive, especially now you can find like a lot more halal, restaurants and things like that also. And a lot of like tourists from Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei actually go Korea every day. You know, like not every day. Travel to Korea frequently. Yeah. I think it's a big market because of all the dramas.
Yeah. And they even have a street, right? That's like Muslim.
Is it?
Itaewon. Yeah, Itaewon.
Oh, okay. Isn't Itaewon like a foreign, like for foreigners? More of like international.
More for Muslim, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where the masjid is. Correct?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that's why like the street has a lot more Muslims like from
It's
India,
like an
like
international, actually it's like an international town, I guess. So not only Muslims, but a lot of foreign people are just there.
Right.
I see.
You can find, so like, you know, it's kind of, I was quite shocked because I didn't imagine like how many Malaysians would be there. So when I went to Itaewon the first time, like every 100 meter I could spot a Malaysian or Singaporean. I could spot like somebody speaking in Malay and I'm like, oh, okay, am I in Malaysia?
Am I Malaysia?
Malaysia town, Singapore town.
Yeah, it's like going around KLCC, you know, there's like white people and then suddenly there's like Malaysian here and there. I couldn't spot Korean that much unless I went to the store. But yeah, so that's how international, you know, Itaewon is, I guess.
I see. And this was like how many years back?
I think it was maybe 5-6 years ago. I guess.
5-6 years. And it means that I think Korea has only like started to become more popular in my radar, like only in the past 4 years, 3 years kan.
Yeah.
So like when the time that you went, there are already like halal food available.
Yes, but not much. To be honest, not much. Yeah, compared to now. And yeah, basically like when I went there in 2015, the options, because like my university was not in Seoul. I was living in Chuncheong, Namdo, which is like maybe 1 hour from Seoul. So it was quite hard actually to get some halal food, like, you know, like halal meat and chicken.
Right.
But yeah, we were just like surviving on seafood mostly.
Yeah, I think because like meat and like alcohol, like pork, it's such an integral part of their of daily habit, like eating habits, right? So it's probably very difficult to find that time. I think now it's a lot more manageable.
Now it's a lot more easier.
And it's not like even you find like Indian, like halal Indian or what. You can actually find halal Korean food.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
And I think we went to Mihas like the last 2 years.
In KL, yeah.
In KL. So there is this brand, there is this brand or like company that is from Korea which imports and actually produce instant food that is
halal.
all the way from Korea and halal. So you know the samgyetang?
Instant noodles. Samgyetang.
It's the chicken soup.
The chicken soup. So like a steamed chicken.
Ginseng chicken.
Yeah.
Right?
So they have it like
chicken.
instant. So you just need to pop in the microwave and everything's halal. So it's like quite amazing to see how far
Korea comes to you. You don't have to go to Korea.
I have a question though. Like, I haven't been to Singapore to Singapore in more than, I don't know, maybe 10 years, I guess. So like, yeah. It's quite funny, right? But is it easy to get like halal Korean food in Singapore? Because in Malaysia, you can find it every, I don't know, 10 kilometers, 10 kilometers. It's always around you, especially in KL.
That's a good question.
But I think when it comes to like halal Korean, maybe in Singapore you still need some form of marketing. Sorry, what am I talking about? Like it has to be popular. So for example, like Chincha chicken or like what other Korean? Nene chicken.
Seoul Garden.
So all those things, they are like big brands. You
franchise.
You very seldom see like authentic halal Korean stall.
I mean, they do have some stalls in like the coffee shops.
Yeah, hawker centers.
Yeah, but it's usually like a hot plate kind of chicken beef with rice. It's very simple and it's replicated across the whole of Singapore, I would say. But actually, one of the things, one of the stalls near my house is called Don and Pub, and that one, it's a combination of both Japanese and Korean, right? So sometimes like the food items, like I don't even know whether it's Japanese or Korean. So I'm like, which one is it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's a very common sight here that if you want to open a halal Japanese, it's sometimes a halal
together.
Japanese and Korean.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I feel like I can say that we don't have a authentic like halal Korean place that is opened
Flown from Korea.
or like by a Korean, by a Muslim.
I see.
Yeah, we don't really have that. It's more or less like that's our chains. Which
Although
is
I
still
think
good.
maybe Japanese is a lot more.
Japanese.
The Japanese cuisine is a lot more big in Singapore compared to like Korean.
I
Like
see.
here we have like a real Japanese person who actually like specializes in udon or like fulmana basically.
Yeah. So like actual like Japanese locals who actually have stayed in Singapore for a few years, and they have opened like a restaurant, like one or two restaurants, and they are halal certified. So the chef is Japanese, and it's not like a franchise or big brand. That's what you meant.
Yeah. So if you're in Singapore, you still need to do some research lah. You cannot like we just walk in anywhere.
Hey, but let us know. We'll bring you to the good places.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, but now I'm wondering what other types of food or menu items are in a typical Korean cuisine. Like all I know is like army stew,
Bibimbap.
and bibimbap. That's about it.
Tell us, share with us. Like what should we eat in a Korean restaurant?
Oh, okay. So, well, first of all, okay, my favorite would be naengmyeon.
Was it?
What is it?
Naengmyeon is like
Naengmyeon.
cool noodles.
Cool noodles.
Yeah, cool noodles. Yeah, because like we live in tropical country.
Yeah.
But is it weird?
I think cold noodles is not a common concept in our part of the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't have like mee soto that's sejuk or
Yes,
that's
yes.
sejuk.
To be honest, I think my mom doesn't like it. I don't think she likes it because the concept is
soup.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then like there's two types of naengmyeon. One is like the normal one, and another one is the spicy one.
Okay.
So basically, like in the normal one that I usually eat, they put the noodle, and then they put ice inside, and then they put the soup. So it's like ice soup. I don't know, but it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. So you can put like they will put cucumber on top of it with boiled eggs, and you can put like extra vinegar or mustard if you want.
So the soup itself tastes like, what does it taste like? Like chicken broth? Like that? I'm trying to
I think
imagine.
is it chicken? Yeah, is it chicken?
Fish?
I'm not sure, but the broth tastes so good. And like in Korea, it's even more. They elevate it, to another level. So for the naengmyeon, right? They make the spicy version.
Yep.
And then they scoop, the watermelon.
Okay.
They put it they scoop the watermelon, and then they put the myeon, like the noodle, inside the watermelon, and then they put the watermelon bits on top of it.
It's like a dessert, or is it like a
It's a dessert
savory
and like
or
savory. Yeah, but
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it tastes good because I really like naengmyeon. I think you guys should try it when you go to Korea.
I want to try the one that comes in a watermelon.
Yeah, the watermelon. It's
cannot
only
wait.
like you
It's
can
spicy
only eat it.
I just keep thinking I'm gonna get diarrhea afterwards.
Oh no! I don't think so. It's not that spicy. I mean, it's not like sambal spicy. It's
Okay.
a little bit of heat, I guess. And it's so refreshing. I could say it's so refreshing. Usually, it's eaten during summertime, so that's why I really like it to eat it over here. Yeah.
Annyeong! Welcome to Jeju, South Korea, the island of beautiful nature, the best beaches, and home to some of the most scenic road trips. Indulge in only the best classic and halal Korean food scene, and enjoy the laid-back lifestyle here on this island. Get your legs ready to hike up the Songsan Ilchulbong to see the amazing view of this little town, and maybe say hello to the Henyo, the majestic female divers right by the ocean. And one thing you can never miss on this island is the $1 million sunset at Depot Chisang Jolly Cliff. All of that right here in Jeju, South Korea.
Another one, like some of the normal dishes that you should definitely try if you go to any Korean restaurant would be like kimchi jjigae or sundubu jjigae. That's like the basic soup, and then bibimbap, like the mixed rice, and then if you can try like the barbecue, then you should try the barbecue.
Barbecue
on a grill. Is it? Really?
There is this one very, very popular restaurant in Seoul called
Yeah.
Yanggut. So it's like apparently a lot of Malaysians go there.
Yes.
Young good because it's young good.
Yang bagus.
Young bagus.
But does it stand for something in Korean?
Yang is
Lamb.
lamb, yeah. Yeah, it is.
I tell you, I can put Korean into my resume.
Yeah, you should put it again in your resume. Korean
So basically, when I heard that she put, they have in the naengmyeon they have like cucumber on the noodles, I just get getting reminded of when we went to Jeju and like we went to this vegetarian. Sorry, my voice is hold on. Okay, so basically, we went to this vegetarian restaurant that's like authentic Korean. So I macam like, why are we eating vegetables on the first day? You know, it should be like lamb or like macam something like barbecue-ish. But it's so good. Do you remember Nabila?
Yeah,
I forgot
dasoni.
what is it called? Dasoni?
Yeah, dasoni.
Yes, dasoni. So basically it's like, so they have different things. They have like kimchi, obviously, and then they have like this spinach pancake. Spinach pancake, and then like this like almost ketupat. Yeah, so
Ketupat looking.
What?
ketupat looking rice, like it's a rice.
Yeah, it's like glutinous rice, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
The picture that is in my head is like the Pokemon, that rice ball thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks like
With a not seaweed, right? No.
no, it's being wrapped in like this like leaf. I forgot what.
Onigiri. Look like onigiri when you do triangle.
Yeah, looks like that, something like that.
Okay.
They're almost like ayam buah keluak. But it's not ayam, it's rice.
yes. Yeah.
It's like wrapped up like that. I don't know. Basically, all I'm saying is that I think their food is very, very healthy.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to be halal, I rasa.
Right. Okay.
You don't put the pork inside.
I think I have not come across naengmyeon in Singapore.
I think you have to buy it. You have to like search for it.
In Singapore?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not something that everyone would eat, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
I know, like, I've heard, like, if you were to eat in Korea, like, they're famous for their side dishes. I think.
Oh, yes.
Like, banchan. Is that correct?
Banchan apa?
I don't know. Semua orang
Banchan means side dishes.
See?
Yeah.
I can write Korean in my resume.
You can put Korean in your resume as well.
Limited to banchan only.
So it's like a free flow sort of thing, is it, in every restaurant?
So banchan, there's like, like when you go to Korean restaurants, they give you like small plates, maybe like kimchi, and yada yada, right? So they're all called banchan. Yeah, radish, and sometimes they give you like anchovies, things like that. So they're all called banchan. And sometimes, like if you go to like traditional, like really really remember like when we went to Dasoni, right? The table was full, right?
Yeah, it was so full.
I think they had more than 6 or 7 types of banchan, I guess.
Yeah. I remember. And then they had this like buckwheat tea. Which everyone was looking for the tea when we went to the grocery shop. So it was so good. It's like almost like water, but it has like some taste in it. I don't know how to explain it. You need to be there to experience it.
So like, okay, talking about like your trip to Jeju, right? Like how, it was like 3 years back?
2019.
3 years,
Yeah.
So like, how easy was it like finding halal food in Jeju?
I went with Nabila, so she brought us. I think we have to look for it. But tell us, I think one of the things you also highlight on that trip is that all of these halal food places were not even existent 2-3 years ago. Like
Oh,
they
yes.
only emerged in the very recent
Recent.
years. And
True.
very surprisingly, it's a lot lah. It's a very big increase from nothing to like
Yeah.
maybe like 50 restaurants in a Jeju.
And that's because
You know,
Jeju is like a really hot tourist spot, is it?
Hotspot,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
hotspot,
yes,
okay.
yes. You know, like for your information, Hazra, like we went there in 2019, right? So during that time, I think it was like when I briefed you guys. So I think there was only about 13 or 15 Muslim-friendly restaurants, right? So now, I think starting from last year, they really expanded, and now we have like 23.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 10 more.
Nice.
Yes. And it's growing, like now still growing. So I'm quite surprised too. Like it's Corona and there's suddenly even more Muslim friendly restaurants. Yeah. So, and then like that's just for Muslim friendly category, and for vegan friend, like vegetarian, completely vegan. There's I just found out too actually last year. Only last year they started promoting it. In basically Jeju is one of the locations, like one of the hotspots for vegan food.
Oh.
Yes. I just found out about that last year too.
Okay.
So basically, I think around such small island, there's around for only restaurants without the cafe, there's about 34 vegan restaurants.
Wow. Okay.
Which is quite a lot, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I would always believe like vegan would only be in like the Western community. I think it's like pemikiran orang tua. Like when you say vegan, it's like orang macam Western who is like very conscious of their health, etc.
Yeah.
So I think for them to be in Korea ataupun like in Asia where food is such a big thing, right? So it's weird or like amazing to see like vegan restaurants. Yeah.
And like I think you can agree to this too, Hazira. Like in Korea, like even though it's vegan, the food tastes really good. The food tastes really good. It doesn't taste like earthy, like you expect it to taste like soil or something like that, but or bland. I mean, it can taste bland, right? But then surprisingly, I actually enjoyed eating, all this vegan food.
Yeah. Very, very true. Because like maybe in Singapore still, like when it comes to vegan, we have vegan burger, we have like vegan ice cream. So everything is still very Western cuisine. So to see vegan in like Korean cuisine, it's just like one step into like the whole macam experiencing Korean cuisine without
The authenticity of the Korean cuisine.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it still feels traditional. Kan? So
True.
it's good.
Yeah.
What is Jeju like known for? Like, I mean, I don't know, like what is the local kind of specialty in Jeju?
Local specialty. You mean food?
Food, yeah.
Okay, for food, basically it's seafood.
Seafood, because it's near the
Yeah,
sea.
seafood, like the abalone, and then abalone.
You had some?
Sedap gila nak mampu.
How does it taste
Do you
like?
remember?
It's like rubbery. Rubbery,
Yeah.
but because they put spice, like macam very simple things like sesame oil and like salt and
Yes.
pepper.
Right, to
And it's
enhance
so
like the
good.
taste. Sweet?
Yes.
Not sweet. I think it's a texture. It's a texture that makes a difference.
Yeah. Hazir, do you remember like eating the grilled abalone? Yeah.
Yes. I have a
Yes.
picture. I'll put it here.
Oh my god, it was really, really good.
Yeah. You can say,
So compare it to something that tastes like what, like kerang or like kupang or like
I don't think so.
Like
It tastes
Why?
rubbery.
But rubbery doesn't sound good to me.
Octopus? That's rubbery.
it's like
Chewy.
squid. Squid,
Yeah.
but like thick.
I think it tastes like clam a bit.
Yeah,
Clam a
yeah,
bit.
yeah,
So
like,
you have
just
the
like
taste
clam
of
a
the
bit.
sea also lah.
Boleh lah.
Boleh lah.
Okay. Kasi dah masak. So macam the honey is not there anymore.
Okay.
The taste of sea is not there anymore. But oh my god, at that particular... Can I just say that when we ate the abalone, it really looked like a Korean restaurant. Like it's a very legit ajuma restaurant.
okay.
So like really macam ajuma. Like ajuma is basically like
Auntie.
Korean.
Auntie.
And they were all wearing boots. They look like they came from the sea, and they're like serving you. And in that stall, we had a really hard time because everyone had their own dish, but the cold noodle, like, what is it? Was that what we were eating?
Yeah, it was full noodle.
But it's bergunung. It's so huge, dia punya serving. So you were like eating macam dah mati. And then we also had such good fried rice. It's this fried rice in a bowl. Oh my God.
So like, I mean, so where this restaurant served only seafood, is it?
Seafood, yes.
And then like, so everything, it's no meat or whatever that is served in the...
so.
Or like,
so,
do you
no
have
meat.
to like kind of request, like tell them like, oh, we just want vegetarian or seafood, and they can accommodate?
I think they have a lot of restaurants that is only seafood.
Okay.
Yes,
So-
especially those restaurants right by the sea, right? Or by. So those restaurants right by the beach, a lot of them only serve seafood. They don't serve any other meat. Yeah.
So it's like no farm to table, but this one sea to
Sea
table.
to table.
Sounds super fresh.
So I think a lot of popular things in the restaurants is like, you know, the sambal fish.
Yeah.
It's just supersized version. Supersized version. And then like a lot of seafood stew. So it still feels traditional, but it's halal. You know, it's just really nice to see how, because when we travel as Muslims, we always feel like, oh, I want to try the local food, but it's not halal, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But I think Korea is one of the destinations, you can try the local food, but then it's still traditional and local.
Right.
Traditional.
Another thing is like a lot of, I don't know, I think it's not just in Korea, but I think could be in other countries as well. Like when you talk about halal, a lot of people think, oh, it's only limited to only Arab food or Indian food, which is, no, I want to eat the local food, but halal local food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is like some of our main concerns, you know, in finding all these Muslim-friendly restaurants, especially like we got a lot of, you know, inquiries about, you know, from people as well. Like, okay, I come to Korea, I want to eat halal food, but I don't want to eat Indian food, you know, because a lot of these halal options are only limited to Indian food only. But so that's why, like, we had a lot of discussions, and you know, so that's why, like, they come out, okay, maybe like all seafood restaurant could be halal as well, and it could be Muslim friendly and all of these things. So that's why now it's growing and growing, because they understand the meaning of halal, and it's not only limited to, you know, Indian food only.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes because like the understanding of halal food, they only sometimes, you know, I mean, I won't blame them, because it's you know, there's no Muslims there, and when they talk about halal, it's only sometimes they only think, oh, kebab, like the only halal thing they know about is kebab. We don't have halal here. It's kebab. So when they serve like you know, like seafood stew, seafood hot pot or something, and I said, oh yeah, I can eat it, but sometimes people would say, why can you eat it? Halal? And I'm like, yeah, there's no other things inside, right?
Yeah.
The understanding of halal itself is still quite an issue for, I mean, a lot of people in Korea, because they only have like this one type of image when it comes to halal, only like, oh, it should be Arab food or Indian food or, you know, kebab only. Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, like in Jeju at the moment, or like when I went, we didn't even go to like a bunch of Indian restaurants. I think there were only maximum 2 Indian restaurants that we went. And the last one that we went was Wada restaurant. It was a Yemeni restaurant. It's a very small family business. And apparently it's the first ever Yemeni restaurant in the whole of Jeju. So like when people think that when we go to Korea, we eat Middle Eastern food, it's completely different in Jeju. Yeah.
True. It was authentic, I could say.
Yeah, but it was really good.
Yeah.
So kambing dia bombs gila.
At the Yemeni restaurant.
Yemeni restaurant. That was the first time I tried fluffle. I fell in love, guys.
I see. Okay, so but I think you're right. Like I think that resonates with a lot of us. Like when we talk about halal food and we travel overseas, like we really want to eat, you know, the local destinations kind of like version, and not just the Middle Eastern sort of variant of it. But let's say someone who is going to Jeju or going to Korea like for the first time, what are some of the things that they should take note of? Like maybe, I don't know, some culture differences, or like I heard that Koreans are not very comfortable speaking in English.
Okay, actually, that's
I saw like videos, like sometimes when they come out in English and like somewhere around the
Do
way.
you know English? No.
so. Okay, basically, right? That's quite a misconception.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I do understand. Like, there's still a lot of Koreans who don't speak good English. It's not that they don't understand. It's just that maybe they could be quite shy. And a lot of my Korean friends, they give me this reasoning. They say that we're too scared of like grammar. We think too hard about the grammar, so we ended up like not speaking it. Like they want to be
Isn't your grammar more
perfect.
complicated? That's why they put in a lot of emphasis on the grammar in English.
Yes,
Yeah.
because like the way they learn English is just by like I don't know, maybe memorizing grammar and all these rules. So like I think for us, we don't really care about the grammar as long as the message gets across there.
Yeah.
So that's done, right?
Yeah.
But for them, they learn, grammar intensively, So that's why, like, when they want to speak they could understand. So one good thing is that a lot of them could understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's not that they completely don't understand at all. So sometimes, and it's good, like, if you want to go somewhere and you don't speak any Korean at all, if you want to show them somewhere, right? It's good if you show the Korean version as well, like the Korean address or things like that. Then it will be easier for them to get through, like to show you where you want to go.
I think what Nurul says is very true. Like, because they have a lot grammar, so like they think about it a lot. Because I've seen Korean shows whereby if you speak informally to someone who you should have spoken formally to, you will get scolded.
Yeah, they don't want to be disrespectful. Yeah.
So, but in English, there's no such thing as formal, informal. So maybe they're scared. Yeah.
And a lot of my friends say that like they really, they're scared of making mistakes. So they ended up like, while thinking, they just ended up not replying to you at all. But but they could understand better than a lot of us actually. They could understand, but maybe it will take some time for them to reply. So, like our personalities, like, okay, you're not replying to me, so that means you don't understand at all. Like sometimes you don't even give time,
Yeah.
But as long as when it comes like concerning asking for directions and things like that, for me, if you want to be safe, it's better if you have the Korean address as well. You can just show it to them. You can just Google. Then I think that will help you a lot.
I see. Okay, so when we were in Korea or like in Jeju, we went up a lot of mountains, which was a surprise. Like, what other attractions would you say we should go to? If let's say comes a time we go to Jeju, where else?
Okay.
Other than mountains, because I'm not doing that again.
But Jeju is famous for the mountains, right?
Yes.
Support.
So, like the two main locations that you should really go to when you go to Jeju, which I think, you have visited, right? So first would be the Songsan Il Shubong, which is the sunrise peak. The hike was maybe should take about 35 minutes.
Oh,
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't agree with that?
Is it for beginners?
Maybe if you live in Korea for a long time, maybe 35 minutes. But if you live in Singapore, where you take the lift every day and the escalator, maybe like 1 hour lah.
Okay.
45 minutes.
So second would be Halasan. I think you went up there too, right?
Yeah, that was not a great one as well. Oh my god. By the way, we were there and then like this one guy, he was hiking it up while on the phone.
Okay.
Like, it's like a morning workout for him.
How high are these mountains?
I don't know. How high are they?
Actually, because there's 5 different trails around, I think we took the easiest, so that's why it wasn't hard at all.
That's right. It wasn't hard at all.
Yeah. I mean, compared to the rest, Halasan's I think it's around 1945, I think.
Okay.
I think, it's about 1945.
Quite
It's
manageable.
the
yeah.
tallest mountain in South Korea, basically.
Oh, you must have
Yeah,
great
it is.
views. Did you have a great view when we went up?
I was tired. I wasn't focusing.
I think Hajar, you were too tired. Actually.
yeah. I could not focus. Anyways.
Yeah. And another thing, so basically, Jeju has a lot of beautiful, beaches around. So like from the western to the eastern side. So I would definitely, actually for my, personally, I like the beaches around the western side of Jeju. I don't know, but because I think I find that more peaceful for me. So there's one place called Ewol Coastal Road. So it's basically an Shintang Windmill Coastal Road. So it's on the western side. So you can see the windmill around it. Yeah, you can see the windmill while driving through or walking through the beaches. And then did you guys watch Iron Man 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's like one of the locations is do you know the Randy's Donut?
Randy's
Where,
donut,
like-
let me check.
Yeah. So
Donut.
so Iron Man was like sitting on top of it, something like that.
Oh, I know
Randy's
Randy. Randy's donut. When he was rebelling against is the first part of the movie.
Yeah.
Wait, was it? It was filmed there, is it?
No, actually, it's from America. It's like a chain restaurant in America, and they recently opened up in Jeju.
Oh.
So yeah, if you don't want to go to America, you can just go to Jeju to take pictures there. So and on the eastern side, you can see like a lot of emerald green like beaches like Hamdok or Bojongri, and I think because we went there during winter time, so it wasn't open. But in Wojongri Beach around the eastern side of Jeju, you can transparent kayak there. It's like one of the must do activities
saw
there.
that,
Yeah.
That's where it is. I've been seeing it, but I don't know where.
It's on the other side. Yeah, and you can take, there's a few more other smaller islands surrounding Jeju, like Udo, Marado, Biangdo. So I think a lot of people think, oh, maybe we're not Korean, we can't go there. But you can actually go there. You can just take a ferry from the port and go there. Maybe it's just like 1 day trip. But I can tell you, the view is splendid. It's so beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And it's like, because it's like at the, I don't know, maybe like the end of Jeju Island and end of Korea, basically. So if you go there during springtime or autumn, that's the best time to go there.
Taking
To the
notes.
smaller islands, yeah.
I read that Jeju is a really great place to kind of rent a car and just drive on your own. And it's also, there's a lot of like kind of self-driving routes that you can follow.
Yeah.
What is the recommended duration to stay in Jeju?
Okay, there's like another misconception that people usually have about Jeju, that people think Jeju is so small. Like, actually, no, Hasira, you know it too, right? Actually, it's not small at all. So I think it's around, basically, I think it's 2.5 to 3 times larger than Singapore. And maybe you should for me personally, I think you should take about like 4 to 5 days to actually, enjoy Jeju. And every single time you visit Jeju, it's always different. Even for me, like I've been there maybe like 5-6 times, but every single trip was different because the good thing about Jeju is like it's always growing. Every day it's growing. There's always something new and there's no end of it. You keep on seeing new things.
Yeah. I think that's true. Like I think Jeju is one of those underdogs. Like a small city, but it's rapidly growing with new things. Like what you said, like new halal restaurant. Like even in some of the places we have like what's that? Grim Cafe, is it?
Grim Cafe. Yes.
And like previously we had like I forgot. Da Vinci. We went for a Da Vinci.
Oh yeah. Bunkers. Yeah, we went to Bunker. Yeah.
Yeah. So this Bunker's place is like an art installation. So I think they change quite often as well. So
Oh yeah.
it's really not a
Took
place.
pictures there.
Yeah. Very nice pictures. It's really not a place where like you think where only old people live. Really, it's not. Because people actually come in and like actually like macam get away from like the busy soul lifestyle.
Yeah, like actual like Koreans who live like outside of Jeju actually go to Jeju for like a holiday, right?
Yes.
And you know, like there's a lot of art installation place, like you know, like the one we went, Bunker, and then there's one called Bonte Museum. And their new one, I think we mentioned in the article, art in Korean they call it arte. Arte museum, arte museum. So you can see like a lot of, you know, this high tech, I could say, and people actually go there and sit there. We actually sat there too, right? Like we were just watching and enjoying the music and seeing all this beautiful art. So you can just spend time doing all these things as well in Jeju.
Nice.
Yep. So what would be your ideal day, the life in Jeju?
So, okay, basically my ideal day. You know what? I think this is normal for any, I don't know, Gen Y, Gen Z people. I love cafe hopping.
Is it a lot?
Oh my God. Okay, you know what? I don't know if I sound biased saying this, but because I'm working in Jeju, but you know, I've been to many parts of Korea before. And you know, like they always say in Seoul or, you know, there's a lot of beautiful cafes, unique cafes, right? But after going to Jeju and experiencing the cafes over there, it's like a whole another level.
Is it?
But yeah, seriously. You can find, I think Jeju is, it's so popular and they have a lot of trendy cafes around it. You can spot a cafe like every, I don't know, 500 meters. That's just how many cafes there are.
Wow.
And each cafe is so different and so unique because there's a lot of competition going on. Mm-hmm. There's so many cafes. Yeah. So each cafe tries to come out with like signature dish or signature drink or I don't know, or signature, signature, I don't know, art piece or things like that, signature concept. So you can find all sorts of different concepts. I think, we did, right? We went to is it a mini zoo or something like that? Like the animal cafe?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah. So
Amazon?
there's like even cafe, there's even a cafe like with you know, where you can play with animals inside.
Petting zoo.
And then petting zoo, yeah. And then there's cafes with like ocean views, a lot of beautiful ocean views, and Hello Kitty cafe, Coca-Cola, and there's one of the, I think you mentioned it in, no, you didn't. So there's like a cafe, or I think this is one of my favorite, but I haven't been there yet. But so far I've done a lot of research. Mm-hmm. So I think this cafe is really, really interesting. It's called Sharon and Eden. Okay. So it's located quite nearby the, maybe just 10 minutes away from the airport. So it's a self-wedding cafe, something like that. What? Like, yeah. So I haven't been there yet, but it's like you go there. It's a really beautiful cafe in white and pink, like perfect for girls. So you can rent a wedding dress there. Like they have like really nice, wedding dress. Yeah, wedding dress. So you can rent the wedding dress there. So the wedding dress costs about like Uchanan is like maybe $5 Sing dollar, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's quite cheap, I guess.
Yeah.
And you can get really nice. You can wear really nice wedding dress, and you can take pictures around it. So yeah, it's a place that I want to go.
Wow, amazing! Yes. It's so cool. Yes. She's looking for the wedding dress. Sharon and Eden.
Yeah, Sharon and Eden.
Sharon and Eden. Okay, so we will keep track of all these places that Nabila has seen.
Yeah, but like I think you mentioned about like Grim Cafe also. I think that's a new attraction that just opened, right?
It's like a 2D
Yes.
foodie cafe.
It's so Instagrammable. And like I think when Nabila first shared the photos, like Hazrin and I were looking at it, I was like, Hazrin, this is very familiar. Well, I feel like I have seen this cafe before, but I don't know where. And I've never been to Jeju. And it turns out that it was in a movie. It was in To All the Boys I Loved Before.
Okay.
I don't know if you
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a Netflix movie, and then like I think it's
the last one.
Yeah,
The last trio.
She went to back to Korea and they filmed it in that. I thought actually when I saw that movie, I thought it was a set that they actually made. Then I thought, oh, COVID, then they cannot really go Korea. Then they just made the set, and then turns out it's a real restaurant, a real cafe. It's really cool.
Yeah, okay. So basically, if you are wondering where other places Nabila has mentioned, we will put it in our article, which we will also release soon when this episode comes out. But anyways, thank you so much, Nabila, for sharing with us all these tips and tricks to go to Jeju. Like in the meantime,
we can't wait.
Yeah.
We have it in our list for when we actually can go.
Yeah, I nak makan Sabah fish, I nak makan abalone, I nak makan... Probably would have more. Okay, anyways. Yeah, thank you so much. What else?
What can they find?
Where can we find more Korean, like Jeju tips for anyone who wants to travel to Jeju?
Okay, so basically our, Jeju Tourism Organization, so they recently launched a YouTube channel called Visit Jeju Global. So it's like you can find a lot of information there from like you can, they have a video on how to rent a car in Jeju, how to take the buses, and if you take the buses, like where you can go. So they have like a lot of beautiful, videos and how to travel in Udo Island or how to travel with your family around Jeju. So yeah, cycling tour. So, and they introduced a lot of new places as well and new cafes and such. So you can see all those Instagrammable cafes over there.
Okay, that's good. So we can actually watch it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for sparing some time to talk with us today.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.
We're always... Anyway, it's okay. What was I talking about? Okay lah. No. Okay, thank you Nabila for coming today, and thank you everyone who's listening to this podcast. Go and tune into our previous episodes if you haven't. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching. Take care, bye-bye. Oh, like, share and subscribe.
Bye.
Alright guys, thanks for listening. So we'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget to give us a shout out on anchor.fm/the Halal Travel Podcast. Your voice message could be featured in our next episode.
Yep, and if you have any advertising and collaboration opportunities, contact us at info@halaltrip.com. That's info@halaltrip.com.
Also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Halal Trip. We're also now on Telegram and TikTok. Until next time, get inspired, go and inspire others.